Hi everyone, welcome to day two of the free automation training series we have. And in this video, we'll look at part two of the schema. In part one, we looked at tables like invoices, clients, projects. You know, now we'll move to some other tables which may be required for your day-to-day task and work management. So let me quickly share my screen. Okay, so the next table which you would want to create if you are in a service business, let's say accountancy, uh, you know, if you are a legal firm or a coaching business, is the employees, because obviously, it's a very rare scenario that you would be working solo. If you're working solo, obviously you don't require this table at that point in time. But any business, when you're scaling, you would want to have, people working for you so that you can delegate to them the various projects which are coming up. Because obviously you won't be able to run the entire show yourself all the time. Okay, so employee table is another table which would typically contain the employee ID. This could be a auto increment field, or it could be, an employee ID which you are basically trying to retrieve from some, uh, you know, from some external tool where you have this employee information. So depending on that, you can take a call. Then this would be associated to the expenses table, and one employee, because there may be expenses associated with an employee. So you may want to link it with the expenses table. This is typically, you can say, true more for accountants, because accountants may want to keep their income and expenses side of things in front of them in that centralized database. And obviously you would have employee name, the department he's working in, and the manager he's working for, and obviously the you can have joining date, and stuff like uh, title of the employee and so on and so forth. Okay, let me quickly put that. And the employee title. Okay, next we move to the income table. Now you may want to put all the income transactions which are happening uh, in one table. Okay, so you can put an income table with obviously the auto increment ID, the date when the transaction happened, the source. It could be a single select field like consulting fees or client payment, whatever it is. You can associate it. You can associate this with the client, the payment method, and obviously you can have some notes there. So this would typically, entail all the incomes which are all the sources of incoming money which is happening to your business. Why, how it's different from invoice is that invoice you may create and you may have to recreate due to some reasons. Okay, and but income is basically the record gets created only when some money comes to your system. So that is why you should always have a separate income statement to know what all happened in that particular, let's say, month, and so on and so forth for you. Okay, how your business is basically transpiring when you look at income as a whole. Obviously when you have income, you would always have expenses table to understand where the money is going from your business, how you are spending the money. So you should always have a expenses table as well, um, which would have the date when that expense happened, the receipt, you can have there as an attachment, the description of that expense, the category you can have, expense categories already set, uh, from which you can choose which particular expense this particular record is moving into, and the amount, obviously, the approval status, whether it got approved or not, and who basically, which employee was trying to uh, create that expense. Okay, so even employee salary would be added as one record in the expense table, uh, so that in this month these are the expenses which happened, including the employee salary and obviously office supplies, software, whatever. So as and when money moves out of your system, one record would be generated in this table. That's how the automation would be planned or designed. Okay. And another, obviously, the table which you can have, to help you in your uh, to help you understand how your business is performing, would be the assets table, which would contain the assets you have purchased for your business, the cost, their depreciation value, the current value after depreciation, and the location where that asset is placed. Asset could be something you have basically purchased for your business, let's say a typewriter, laptops for your employees. These are all assets, and they keep on depreciating as time goes on. So the asset value also you should have separately, to know that, okay, these are my assets, and this is how, and ultimately you could know at a particular time, point in time, what is the current value of all the assets in your system. Okay. And generally, you would also have a payroll table apart from assets, which would be linked to the employees table, and which would contain things like start date, end date of the employee, the gross pay, everything related to the pay of the employee would come in this table. The deductions, the net pay, the payment date, and so on and so forth. And you can link this with, it would be linked with the employees table on the uh, employee ID, obviously, right? Whatever is the primary field there, you should link the payroll table to the employees table. Okay, so this would basically, it won't be single line text, but a linked relationship, I would say. Just a second. Let's create a linked relationship. So one payroll record would be linked to one employee only. So this would be disabled here. From the other side, that checkbox would be enabled. Okay, if you understand how Airtable works. Okay, so this is how we have established the employee linking as well, which was missed. Since I'm just trying to create the schema from scratch to help you understand how the schema gets created in Airtable, and you can always keep on shuffling the columns for better visibility, and you can hide and show fields, what you want to see in the view and what you don't want to see in your view on a day-to-day basis. Okay. And this actually would not be employee name, it would be the payroll ID. Let me quickly change that. See, it's nothing is set in stone, as I mentioned. Um, Airtable is uh, your custom database, for your custom business. Okay, so that's where Airtable comes into play. If you try to use various softwares, they would have their own fields, and you may not be able to add some custom fields which you want to add, which are very important to your business. And this basically collates your entire business in one centralized location. And then you can have automations created to retrieve data from your CRM into your centralized location, from your invoicing software, from your accounting software, and so on and so forth. So the limit is infinity here. But yeah, in this particular video, the scope is limited. I'm trying to tell what are the bare minimum tables you should have, especially for payment and invoice automation you are trying to do for your business. Uh, so let me quickly save this field. That's it. Okay. Uh, and don't worry about these other tables. These are some other tables for advanced usage, especially for accountancy firms. So don't worry about that. Uh, Till payroll is something which mostly all the businesses would want uh, to have a overall view of the entire business on their fingertips. That's what I wanted to cover in this video. Uh, Hope it was informative, and I'll see you in the day 3 of the training, where we will look at how a record in invoice table would be created. Thank you.